I am State Farm Agent Rob Renz, and I want to help you get to a better place. Visit us online at ilminsurance.com. That's ilminsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome to the Veteran Business Collective podcast.
I'm Chase Roth, and I am here today with Ethan Bickley. What's up, buddy?
Honored to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I have a feeling that this is going to be an epic episode.
I hope so, man. I really hope that, at least it's beneficial, right?
And we were talking prior to getting started that I might be off, but I think this will be number 16, our 16th episode, which you didn't even know, did you?
I did not.
Just not paying any attention to what's
I feel
going on.
bad.
Yeah, you should. You should feel bad. I've been in here working really hard, getting these episodes recorded so people like you can listen to them, and then, you don't. So,
I can't be perfect.
no, but you try. You do try. And that's what I love about you.
Strive for perfection, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So let's hear a little bit about you, man. You're an Army veteran.
Yes.
How many years did you do in the Army?
5.
5 years in the Army. And what'd you do for Uncle Sam?
Well, so I started out in the North Carolina National Guard at
Okay.
the 514th Military Police Company. And that was joined in 1999. And then 9/11 kicked off, and I went into the regular Army, full-time Army for 3 years or so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I spent some time with 2nd Military Police Company in Camp Casey, Korea, and then 35th Military Police Detachment in Fort Gordon, Georgia, and I spent a little time on the end of my contract on SRT.
Okay.
So we did some SWAT stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. And you decided not to make a career out of it, obviously.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I got out, went to school.
What'd you go to school for?
Political science.
No way. Did you know Matt Mylott went to school for political science?
I did, and even more crazy, we both have our MBA.
What? You guys are twinsies.
I'm telling you.
And you both have beards?
We're both very attractive men.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't think of any more similarities that you could probably have. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Are you guys you could actually be brothers, long-lost brothers, and not even know it.
Maybe we are.
We could ask him. We'll check in with him later and see what he thinks about all that. That's crazy. So political science. I know we're talking to Matt. He opted not to pursue a career in political science. Did you ever pursue a career in political science?
No.
No.
I didn't, because then I finished my my undergraduate degree about 6 months early, and then I got picked up by Department of Energy. So then I worked private security with Department of Energy for 6 years on another SRT as well.
So I have limited experience with Department of Energy. When I was with 2nd Fast, we did a refuel, defuel of a nuclear aircraft carrier. And the Department of Energy that's their thing, is the fuel rods and the security of all that. So they had ninjas, I guess, like you, that rode on the trains that delivered the fuel rods and stuff. Is that kind of what you were doing for DOE, or are you not allowed to talk about it?
I mean, basically, there are certain types of material that require a certain level of a trained individual.
Security and
right. So we were more concerned with the type of material that all the bad guys want, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're not really looking for anything that would have to do with power. They would be looking for something that
materials they could repurpose into something else, like make a dirty bomb or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Along those lines.
And you were there to make sure that didn't happen.
That's right.
Very cool. Did your military background kind of help you get into that, or was it not really of significance?
Yeah, no, everybody. I mean, 99% of the guys on the teams were
Former
veterans.
military?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know why. The really cool thing about that gig was that I got to work with everyone. There was just from Force Recon guys down to a couple of one guy played professional baseball. He worked uniformed for Secret Service, but he played semi-pro baseball before that, and then now he's DOE SRT. So
all kinds of cats.
I mean, literally so that was that was just interesting to see because we did have like some really high marksmanship standards, like very high actually. So it was interesting to see all these different types of people
which was apparent
meet
when
those
when we did our big range weekend last summer. Like you shot really well, and I think you were one of the only guys there that were using iron sights on your AR, right? And you were still killing it.
My broken iron sights. That's right.
That's right. You had you had a problem. I forgot about that.
They call that Kentucky windage.
Just wing it, hope it hits.
Man.
That's so. You did that for how long? 6 years, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that took me up to 2013.
Very cool, man. And, we've known each other for I think the first time we probably met was maybe 5 or 6 years ago, probably at like a Bunker Labs thing down at Ironclad.
Yeah.
Is that about the time? Was it about 5-6 years when you got involved with bar membership and all that?
Yeah, that's when. I got involved in the bar membership 2018.
That's probably when we met because the first time I met you is I think you had just started doing that, and you were doing sales. I think you just got back from a trip to Charlotte to join up a bunch of bars up there.
Did you?
You had just started that.
Did you go through the Honor Foundation?
No. Nope.
Okay.
No, they didn't have that when I transitioned. I got out in 2013.
Right.
We should crack these.
Let's
too,
do it,
instead
man.
of
Yeah.
looking at it. But TK said they're gonna be loud though, so we'll just like a 1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
Now he can edit that out if he wants to. It's up to him. And cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to you. Living almost the high life, just the light life today. Champagne and beers. That's
right.
the wrong beer. I don't know.
No,
Anyways,
it is, but it's okay.
It's almost the same thing. So I think the first time we met, you were involved with bar membership at the tech startup, helping them grow that. And we've kind of been in touch here and there over the last several years. Since then, we've bumped into each other at different events in town, but I've really gotten to know you the most over the last year since we all got this VBC thing going on. You've participated in that consistently. I think you've been to almost every meeting. So I've got to know you quite well, I think, and it's really cool all the different stuff you're into. So I want to hear about everything that you've had going on, man. Like you've been all over the map, right? It's pretty exciting. Like I don't have anything nearly as cool going on as you do. Like I've never been in a movie. I've never taken acting classes, right? Like I've never been in a tech startup. Like you're doing all kinds of interesting things. So like just share it, man. Like what's going on in the life of Ethan?
Well, there is a lot going on in the life of Ethan. I suppose. I think if I take a step back and kind of pay attention to the things that I chase that probably maybe shouldn't be chasing sometimes, but definitely should probably be focusing more on bar membership at this point. But I think that it's been an interesting ride with bar membership because it's like I basically was in college or in the Army or private security industry for up until I was 34, 35-ish.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then kind of transitioned out of that stuff, went back to school, got my MBA at UNCW 2017, and finished in 2017. And then I got picked up by bar membership, in a sales position in a technology / software sales position. And, it fit me really well based on my background and everything, but I guess my point of saying that is, I've just been, I'm like a shower shoe in the business world. I'm just like this, I'm just started this. I consider my graduation in 2017.
Oh, you're using it in like terms of like a boot, like you're new.
Like a boot,
okay.
right? Yeah.
Sorry, dude. That sip of beer set me back. Apparently, like
Clearly.
I didn't click right away. I get what
Clearly,
you're saying now.
Clearly, you're
right,
giving me.
So you're saying you feel like you're still pretty new to the
yeah,
business. Okay.
yeah, absolutely. I was still trying to learn as much as possible, just from other people that I see that are either successful or making mistakes for that matter. So, and now I'm in this operations position. I started out, as a boot or shower shoe, in 2018, and now I'm in a position where, I'm chief operating officer, so I deal with all the daily business activities, everything from, strategy-wise all the way down to like minute details of canceling an account, right? So I think it's just been an interesting kind of trip since 2018 to where I am right now with the company and the things that I'm doing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And for those that don't know what bar membership is, it's a program on an iPad where when you go check into a bar in North Carolina, you can't go to a bar if you're not a member if the bar doesn't sell food. So if it's just a bar, you have to be a member, and they give you a card, you pay a fee, and all that. What bar membership does is you just scan your driver's license. You don't have to have this membership card that you carry around anymore. It just makes it simpler for the bar to keep track of who their members are and all that kind of stuff, and keep them compliant with these archaic Southern laws that we have down here, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And you've been with them since the very beginning. Started out, doing sales, and now basically running the company. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also a tech company, so there's also like an aspect where, it's not like a landscaping company or where I have 30 employees. You know what I mean? I've just got really. I do have a bunch of customers. I deal with I have over 400 customers, so that those calls can range from anything to anything, right?
Right.
Any time of day, whatever. But also, you got to remember it's a tech company, so it's all done. It just runs the tech side of it just runs itself essentially. The development team takes care of all that, and then I just have to do the operation side of everything.
Okay.
So sales, marketing.
So, I mean, the fact that it's kind of on, it almost sounds like it's almost on autopilot.
A majority of the time it is. Every once in a while there'll be a really big problem maybe. When we hit a million members, we had to upgrade our databases.
Okay.
But everything didn't work for us.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a problem.
Right.
But of course, we just fixed it.
But I mean, other than those major movements, the fact that it's kind of seems like it's on autopilot. You said, the development's done. You're not really tweaking it. Don't need to. It does what it's designed to do. You've got your customers. That seems like it's kind of freed you up and allowed you to dabble in some other areas, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's kind of, as I kind of took on this COO position, it's been interesting because I'm kind of dividing I've got to really divide my time out. I've got to spend time with my marketing or my sales calls. I've got to section off a part of my day that I spend on sales and marketing. Mm-hmm. Then I got to the random phone calls from just customer success. Trying to make everyone as happy as possible, and or getting the dev team to pull some type of data points for these customers or something somebody may want, so on and so forth. But yeah, definitely something that I'm figuring out is that prioritization of time based on these different options, because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for this. There are people that are stakeholders, right? I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible to try and grow that company. I'm supposed to make it as profitable as possible, right? Or at least, what we can do.
Right.
And then, as well as just maintaining that brand and reputation and so on and so forth with it as well. You really got to, kind of mind your business.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're focusing really on just your responsibilities with bar membership, but you're also a coach for the Honor Foundation.
True.
Right? I mean, that's another thing that you're focused on. What's that been like for you?
That's awesome.
Okay.
Even though I'm not, I wouldn't necessarily, a lot of the coaches that volunteer their time for the Honor Foundation are certified coaches, and I don't really have any certifications, but I lived it. I did this transition. I had some difficult times, and I ended up being okay, right at the end of the day for the most part, maybe.
That's for you to decide.
But it's a great way. I think that if there are any veterans out there that would be interested in doing something like that, they should probably not be scared of it. It's not a super serious thing. It's a voluntary thing. I just talk to my guys, once a week or so.
Well, I think that's valuable, man. They don't need therapy. They don't need a professional coach to come in and sort out their life. They need to talk to a fellow veteran who's walked the walk they're about to walk.
Right.
Yeah. And hey, man, what was tough for you? What worked well for you? What would you have done different?
Right.
I think there's more value in that, sharing your experience as a fellow veteran probably than some certification that you could spend a week getting or however long it takes to get. I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. And then, the other side of it is, I think that, actually, I know so, as a matter of fact. I would say, that, the majority of Americans don't have a very good grasp of the type of sacrifices that the special operations community makes. And, being able to work with some of these guys on a one-on-one basis is eye-opening, as well as just reinforces that respect that I have for.
What do you mean by that? Can you unpack that a little bit?
What do you want?
Well, you said you highlighted the special operations community, sacrifices maybe being a bit different, and how it was kind of eye opening for you to have conversations with these folks. What about that? Could you go into a little more depth on that?
Well, I think if we think about the veteran community as a whole, what maybe 5% of Americans serve, I think, in the armed forces.
Yeah, it might be even less.
I think it's around 5%, right? And then if you look at, what do you think about it? The passage of people that actually make it into like the special operations side, then you're talking about less than 1% probably, right? But then these people are making this. I wouldn't necessarily say more. I don't want to diminish anybody's service.
Right, and you're not. But everybody has a different role to play.
You kind of know where I'm going, where it's like, some of these guys have done incredible actions in this country that I think that a vast majority of people overlook, don't know about. And it's not really their fault that they don't know about it or maybe overlook it. I'm just saying it's just something that nobody's talking about, mainstream-wise.
Right. And so you get to kind of hear that firsthand as you're doing your coaching?
Yeah, sometimes.
See what that's like. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the reason you do the coaching? Is it you like giving back, like helping out?
Definitely, man. Absolutely. It's a way of giving back. It's a way of turning mistakes that I made into something that can benefit someone else. It's also and then the other aspect of it is you separate from that. I separated kind of out of that type of industry. I want to be very careful with my words there. But I separated out of that type of industry in 2013. So then, now it's like I get to hang out with you, and it's great, and I love that. But this just adds to that part of my life that I don't really get to do anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it connects you back to
like-minded
kind of your military roots.
People, kind of stuff like that. So
I understand that. For sure.
Same way the VBC does. That's what's one of the big benefits of the VBC is, getting to connect with guys like my lot, for an example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, generally speaking, I'm speaking loosely, but
he's not listening.
He's got an email list. He's got some kind of email list he's working on.
Yeah.
But anyways, you kind of know where I'm. That's finding those types of because when you get out, one of the interesting things is when you get out of that kind of stuff, you realize how few people really did anything remotely like that. Right. You know what I mean? And
really small, unique kind of crowd of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it's cool to connect with people back on that type of level. Very cool.
Is that one of the things that keeps you coming back to the VBC? Is that ability to reconnect with that group?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I mean that's I market it. I market your stuff. I talk to people almost any chance I get.
Mm-hmm.
I try and plug them into the network. There's actually I can't remember who I was talking with about it, but basically trying to make a connection between the VBC and the Honor Foundation, like a little bit more. I've actually kind of meaning to talk to you about this, but
okay,
a little more, just maybe a little bit more formalized.
Yeah,
because some of these guys don't want to have some people have don't have a lot of experience doing professional networking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is an area where everybody's kind of like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once again, that like-minded type of people, and they can maybe make genuine connections, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I was connecting a fellow with GeoOwl yesterday. It didn't quite work out, but my point is, there's this tangible thing here, and we've talked about this 100 times. But what are we really doing? How are we truly benefiting? And Renz and I have talked about it. How are we truly benefiting the veteran community here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are we doing?
What do you think?
I think the VBC is doing a great job of it. I think there are metrics. I think there's data out there. I think there's people have increased revenue because of the VBC. I think there's been, so I've brought some of my previous fellows from the Honor Foundation into the VBC.
Yeah,
I've
had 3 active duty guests on this show so far.
Yeah.
That are all involved with the VBC in some way. They've already started businesses and they're connected through that, or they're in the Honor Foundation. They're looking at transitioning and they're coming down and talking to folks like you that have been there and done it and trying to figure out what they want to do next. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, man. Let's get back to Ethan again, because you've got more going on we got to unpack. So we had a conversation. This was probably, when do you think it was? Like back in, was it November, October, somewhere in there?
Remind me of the conversation.
You were doing acting.
Oh yeah, I'm doing some I do. Yeah, I've been dabbling in past few months in some background acting.
But you've had lines and stuff too.
No,
right?
No, absolutely.
You told me you had a scene where you played I
did a fisherman
role, and you had to talk to the cop.
No. I was pantomiming and then pointing and doing stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no lines.
No lines. Okay, right.
But I don't really, that's just a lot of fun. Like that's kind of like.
It sounds like it'd be cool. How did you ever even think of getting into that?
Well, I've been since I moved to Wilmington, I know that. Well, it went away for a while, right? There were some tax credits I think that were removed. Back in like 2015-ish or something like that. So it's kind of been the industry locally has kind of been low or, hasn't been very active. And then as of late, it's been back active. And
it's been crazy.
And it's supposed to be.
So much filming going on here.
Wilmington's supposed to be, what I've heard, I don't know if any of this is true, but what I've heard is Wilmington's like booked for like the next 3 years essentially.
Yeah, the Screen Gem Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read a thing where they said they could build like 3 or 4 more studios over there and have them filled instantly and still not have enough space. There's so much work scheduled.
Yeah, and I think that's really good.
They did Iron Man here.
Yeah.
They've done all kinds of big stuff here that nobody even realizes.
Right. Yeah, most people don't even realize, like, it's crazy. Like, the amount of films, like, I'm talking about the, like, the course of history, like, essentially, not, not just, like, since 2010, but from previous, like, long time. Mm-hmm. Like, the amount of films that have been filmed in North Carolina is absolutely astronomical.
Right.
Because of the mountains all the way to the beaches, and there's all these different...
Yeah, like Last of the Mohicans was filmed here.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in New York where the book takes place,
right.
But here.
Right, exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's interesting. I don't really talk a lot about it, though, because, it's fun, and, it's a gig, and, I get paid to do it, even though it's very, very small pay, or low pay or whatever, but I never want to say anything, because then it's like, so there's a potential that I have a featured background role in this movie that's coming out in 2022. Well, what if they don't use it? I don't want to tell. I don't want to tell anybody. I don't want to.
You said you were going to be in this movie. I didn't see you in there.
Yeah, you're like in a handful of like 4 or 5 people I talked to about.
Well, it's out there now, man.
Obviously,
it's out there. It's on the internet. It's out on the webs.
It's on the interwebs
for everybody to hear about now. Right. No, it's cool, man. That's what's fun about getting to do this is hearing everybody's stories and all the different things, like things that I wouldn't have thought of doing.
Yeah,
like you're right. We have this huge industry right here. Why not?
Right, and it's like
why not? Like,
and it's
even if it's just something fun for an afternoon, like it's cool. Why not?
And it has an incredible profit margin as compared to other industries that are in Wilmington. Right. I mean, the idea, like one of the ideas that we should be figuring out here is attracting industries to the area that have high profit margins so they can pay high wages. That's one of the problems we have with Wilmington. It's a great place to live. Everybody wants to live here. It's super competitive. Now, there are some companies out there. There's some big, PPD, whatever, that's going on with them right now. But as well as...
there's not a lot of major employers, right? There's not a lot of big industry. There's no auto plants here. Like you go to South Carolina and you've got aerospace manufacturers. You've got Goodyear. You've got BMW. You have all these other major employers down there in the Charleston area and that sort of thing. And here you don't have that.
It's slim,
You've got people with MBAs that are attending bar because they want to be by the beach and there's just no other options.
Tell me about it.
You know,
Exactly,
so
bro.
yeah, I see what you mean. But that's cool, man, that you do that. So how often do you do that?
It's complete. I mean, it's totally random. It's like,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you got to fit the role. You know, you got to send your information, apply for each one of these things, each one of these roles, and then they look at your pictures and they say,
Okay.
yeah, it's like, yeah, you look like it, or you don't.
You're what we're looking for, or you're not, right? And you,
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's like, oh yeah, you look like the guy we had in mind to be the fisherman, so come on down. Or we were picturing somebody different to be the barista or whatever it is, right? So no
exactly.
thanks.
Yeah,
It's not personal. It's just whatever that director had in mind, right? Is that?
Yeah, exactly, man. And you just kind of, but it's kind of interesting. Like one of the really fun things is being on set, like being on a set where there's with a like a real director, and it's like, and it goes back to like being like a private man. To be honest with you, like when you're a background person, they're just like, one director was like, one guy told me to do one thing, and the director told me to do something else. I did both the things. The director didn't like it. He was like, all right, just get out of here. He's like, get out of here. Like, all right, so.
So you
But
left.
I mean, I left, right? It's like, that's it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
but
yeah.
it kind of takes you back to like,
Yeah, you're always wrong.
it's like, yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
You're fucking breathing. So we want you, but now we don't want. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, that's funny, man.
Yeah,
The director just shit cans you.
Yeah, but some people get really upset about it. Like
Take it super personal.
oh my god, there was like one of these things one of these gigs I was involved in. You're there you could be there all day, right? It could be like a 15-hour day.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and you were at will. I mean, that's like either you stay or you don't. You leave anyways. But so some people had to wait they weren't being used very often, and that happens too, where you just kind of sit around for whatever, back to the military, right?
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, and they weren't getting used, and they got like really upset, and they got really upset with like this production assistant or whatever.
You're like, I've done this before.
yeah, like I'm built for this, dude.
I'm good for at least another 6-7 hours
That's
before I
right.
care what's going on.
That's right.
I'm going to sit and throw rocks at this tire, and it's gonna super entertain me, and I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. So it's kind of that kind of stuff is kind of fun. Well, they got really upset though, and they like made a scene, and they were literally getting the crazy thing is that they were literally getting paid to do absolutely nothing.
So you get paid either way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So they were just sitting there, not doing anything, but they weren't being used, so they got upset about it. But it's like, you're getting paid to do nothing.
Yeah. Like digging your phone like you do anyways.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Exactly. Man.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh man, some people you just can't make happy no matter what, right?
That's absolutely the truth, man. Oh my god.
So why even try?
Yeah. No, that's what's so funny about some of like then now we go back into like bar membership and customer success and making these customers as happy as possible. And sometimes it's like you can just spell something out, man. Just people are they just don't want to grasp it for whatever reason.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you think you'll keep doing that then? You enjoy it?
Yeah, no, I am, and I'm gonna.
Despite the hurry up and wait, and that kind of stuff, it's still fun.
Yeah, no, it's super fun, and it's cool because like you might see me, like I might. I might.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, right.
I could go to the movie theater and be like,
yeah. Ethan. What about if that featured? What about if they do use that featured role and it's like in like a trailer or something, or like and everybody sees it?
Yeah, that could be kind of neat.
It'd be crazy, man.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
and you get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you hear about like extras and stuff, and you go spend the whole day there hoping you can be in a movie just for that like hype of being able to say you're in a movie. But it's not that. You get paid too.
Yeah.
For your time, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like and a couple like so they basically pay you like 8 hours they pay for 8 hours. Mm-hmm. So like a couple of times, I had like a premium pay because they used my vehicle, and it was like they used my vehicle, and then there was something else, and then just my regular straight time. I was only there for like 6 hours, dude. I made like $35 an hour that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if it goes the other way too, where
you're there for 15 hours, and they don't use your vehicle, and you make like $4 an hour.
Right. Exactly.
But you also didn't have to do anything other than hang out.
That's
right. It's kind of cool, and you get to see how
and they feed you.
You see is the food good?
Oh yeah, dude. They got to feed like super like real actors and stuff. Actresses.
They feed you the same thing they feed them?
Yeah, but they do make you like, well, depending because the movie that I worked with, hopefully or whatever, the food was awesome, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a buffet of like awesome food, like jerk chicken and whatever. Like yeah, like really good stuff. And then like I worked on like a TV series a little bit, and they gave you like a bag of
like a bologna sandwich and a bag of chips or something. Budget not quite the same.
But the lunch and the dinner was always like the same food that everybody ate. You know what I mean? Like
that's pretty cool.
Whatever it was. They did all kinds of stuff. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's really the other kind of interesting thing is about that industry is that like they cater. They pay Wilmington businesses to cater.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like when they have this industry here,
well, I mean that's the whole point of the tax incentives, right? Is that they come here and they stimulate the economy by
right. They're hiring.
Money.
They're hiring background. They're hiring people to do cameras, microphones, all that production stuff. They're hiring caterers. They're
construction crews. They built that whole set over there at the point.
Exactly. They're doing it. It's not just the film industry when something like that happens. It's the film industry is improving X, Y, and Z industry in Wilmington as well.
Right.
So there's like this huge. The benefit is multiplied.
Yeah.
The most than like I think
than most people probably think
about.
Right. Yeah, not knowing, not being involved in it. Yeah, for sure. So what else is on your plate, man? You're coaching with the Honor Foundation. You're still running bar membership. You've got a budding acting career going on the side. Like, is there anything else going on?
Training my dog.
Training your dog. How's that going?
That's probably one of the coolest things I've ever done, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're doing it all your own? You didn't
No,
hire
I hired a professional trainer.
Oh, okay.
I hired a professional trainer. Well, I had to, right? You just can't, especially with a crazy hound dog. I rescued this hound dog, man. I mean, it's like,
okay.
This dog is not like some normal.
I didn't know it was a rescue.
Yeah. So I got her when she was like 5 weeks old. Like,
okay, it's still a puppy though.
Oh, total puppy.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody abandoned the litter and all that kind of stuff. Whatever.
Right.
And my dog had just passed away in the middle. So the story, it's kind of an interesting story, I guess. It's at the end of April, 2020. My 10-year-old dog died. I had the dog for 10 years since it was a puppy. And I was like, everybody's isolated. I'm single, no kids. I'm like, damn, dude, I need a dog, man. Like, so I went out and I found this. I was like, well, I'm going to get a rescue dog, whatever. And I thought, they were like, oh, it's a hound dog, And I was like, oh, well, I had a blue-nosed pit. So there's no fucking way that you can't. There's no more surprises. My blue-nosed pit was pretty crazy when she was a puppy and no, man, absolutely wrong.
Really?
Hound dog was
what
10x, man.
Like energy or what?
Energy, chewing. I mean, the dog destroyed a couple of couches, and it was crazy because like I had moved.
And this is supposed to be your service dog, right?
Well, it didn't start out that way.
Okay.
It just started out as me rescuing this dog,
Okay.
and then it kind of turned into like, going through VA stuff and like unpacking, back to unpacking like. Like what's going on with the way I think, where I have anxiety issues and, all this stuff. And then, probably one of the eye-opening things was that guy and my buddy out in Vegas that I went to go visit.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
you had a similar experience with a veteran friend of yours as well. And, that's when, I think that there's a certain point in time where you got to kind of try to identify things that are impacting your mental health, right? I think, and this is something I truly believe that all of us, anybody who served at all should do, right? And really like pay attention to those things that make you feel a certain way or cause you to act a certain way or whatever that looks like, And it's okay. And we're talking like it could be just something stupid like minor, like road rage, or it could be like something where like my friend experienced like this almost separation from reality. You know what I mean? But I think that if we identify those things ahead of time as much as we can within our own action effort,
right?
I think we're all better off in the long run.
Yeah, I can't argue that one.
So anyway, so then so that kind of caused me to think about stuff like that, and then it was like, hey, can we train this dog to be a service dog? Talking to my trainer, and she's like, absolutely. She's like, you just got to document all your stuff with the VA because we're doing it. This is like this isn't like my emotional support animal. Like it's my service dog.
Right.
This dog,
completely different classification.
It's a different thing, and so yeah, so that's what. But how
long does that take? So
18 to 24 months.
Really? It's a pretty big investment, huh?
Yeah, it's a really huge time investment. I mean, the dog and I train almost every day. We train at least 15 minutes almost every day. And I have to. If I want her to get there to the point where I need her to be,
Right.
then
That's pretty cool, though.
Especially
Considering she was a rescue and not
right.
a dog that was bred, in a program for that or something.
Absolutely. But
hence the reason you have no couch. And
right. The cool thing about doing it yourself is that the dog and I have developed this incredible bond.
Right.
Because the dog has to do what I tell her to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if the dog doesn't do that, then I have no legal. There's a legal aspect of me being able to take this dog wherever I want to take the dog.
Mm-hmm.
The dog has to do.
You have to have control of it.
You have to have control. The dog can't bark. The dog's not allowed to interfere with business operations. They can't bark or piss on the floor when I'm in line at grocery store or something like that, right? So the dog has to be literally perfect. You know what I mean? So the dog makes sacrifices for me when we train, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and that
because I think I got my dog, my shepherd, around the same time that you got your dog, so they're about the same age, I think. And I mean, I'm not training him to be a service dog, but I'm training him to be able to enjoy him and take him in public and go to the beach or the park or to the cafe and have him not be a total jerk and an embarrassment, where he barks his head off every time he sees another dog or something.
And your
like
dog
that.
is a big dog.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. He's so big. He's so big.
It's so funny. I've got this.
He leaves horse apples.
That's right.
That's right. Like like the bags that you turn them inside out, the doggy bag, you pick stuff up. Like, no, bro, no, it does not cutting it. Like, you need Walmart bags,
right,
to get the job done.
Right.
He is a beast, but he's a really intelligent animal, and he wants to please you. So if you can figure out how to show him that he can do that in a productive manner, he's all about it. Yep. And he's not motivated by food. Like I've noticed with yours, you've brought him to some of the coffee socials and stuff, and she's motivated. She likes that chicken that you give her, right? Like she responds to that. Thor could care less about food.
But see,
you could hold a steak in one hand, and if you had a tennis ball in the other hand, tennis ball all day long. All he cares about is playing, working, activity. You give him something meaningful to do, and he's happy. So it's tough to just keep him busy and engage in a positive, productive manner. Because otherwise, he exhibits those behaviors like you're talking about that people don't want to see.
Right.
The rambunctiousness and the barking and all that stuff.
But like one thing that my trainer does. So we meet. Probably, we meet every so often. But what she's done though, is she'll get the dog. She does something with the food where the dog starts chattering her teeth. So she holds it just outside of the bite of the dog, and the dog's like really, really fast.
Really?
And what I think that she's doing though is she's training the dog to respond to the food. You see what you're like, yeah, I don't think my dog responds. Yeah, because I think that part of the reason why it's working for me is because someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, because
I don't know what
I don't.
I just do as I'm told, right? That's the one skill.
I'm gonna make a comment, and I'm gonna get lit up by PETA when this episode airs. Like, what I know is pain retains. Right. So this positive, just continue to lead them with the treat, and they'll do what's right. Like, okay, but there needs to be some negative reinforcement to go with that if you want to have any kind of real progress with the dog. Right? Like, they need to know when they've messed up. I'm not saying I don't beat my dog, I don't abuse my dog, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Just like with a kid, right? Like if I told my daughter, she's 10, if I said, hey, I'm going to give you $10 a week if you get this list of stuff done, if you do your chores, right? But if there's no negative to it, she could just be like, I don't care if I get the $10. I'm not doing it.
Absolutely.
But if she knows, hey, if you don't do the chores, you owe me $10, then it's like, oh, well, I guess I better do them because I don't want to have to give up the $10 I do have. I'd rather get an extra $10.
Yeah.
But if there's no negative to it and there's only a positive to it,
Yeah, and when we do negative, we do the negative stuff that we.
And it doesn't have to be. It can just be like a.
She wears a gentle.
I use a disappointed dad voice.
Yeah,
It just crushes
we
them.
use a gentle. Well, we use the negative reinforcement. I use is we have a gentle lead and
I'm
pull
familiar
them
with
down,
those.
and they dogs don't like.
It's uncomfortable.
They don't like the down stuff, like up or away or something. That kind of doesn't really phase them.
Mm-hmm.
But you start pulling them like down to the ground and stuff like that. They don't particularly like it. So there are ways to do it, and then you got to use that. You got to use that deep voice, so on and so forth.
Yeah. With him, so I take him. The only time he gets to go off leash, I take him to this big field over by my house, behind the elementary school when school's not in session, and I take a tennis racket and a tennis ball because I can't throw a ball far enough to wear him out. So I take a tennis racket with me and I just crank these things out across this field as far as I can hit him. Right, and he runs out and gets him, but I use the e-collar.
Yeah.
Because dogs can get distracted like kids can get distracted. And my voice won't always get his attention, right? Like if he sees something that's more interesting than his tennis ball, I need to be able to get him to focus on me again. So it's not like I'm hitting him and he's doing a backflip, or something. But and most times it's on vibrate, but it's enough to make him go, what? Oh, yeah, he wants my attention, and then he'll come running back over with his tail wagging with the tennis ball.
Yeah,
right. But you got to have some way to control them and keep them focused, man.
It's like die marking cartridges in the military when you train.
Yeah.
CQB training, right? That's pain compliance, right?
Oh yeah, pain retains, man. I remember when the first CQB course I went through. So we used simunitions,
yeah,
right?
of course,
They're
me too.
They're
yes.
9mm rounds.
Yep.
They shoot a plastic marking
I've done it.
cartridge, right?
Yes, sir.
And so we'd go in to do a room clear, and you do your clear, you take your positions, and if you hadn't done something right or you're doing something wrong, the instructor would just stand there and shoot you in the leg. And he wouldn't say anything to you. He would just keep shooting you until you figured out how you were wrong. And then once you figured out like what it was, like you forgot to check behind the sofa or you're standing in front of a closet you didn't clear, then you're like, you never forget that again because you got shot in the leg like 30 times while your brain was trying to process what you didn't do right.
Yeah.
You remember it forever. You don't make the mistake.
That's absolutely. Yeah, and for people listening that haven't experienced this, it's very painful. This isn't like
It'll put holes in your uniform.
It'll make you bleed. You
bleed from
if it's close enough, you're going to bleed through. I mean, on top of your camis or whatever you Marines weirdos call your uniform.
Camis, uniform,
Anyways.
utilities,
right, exactly,
something like that.
Yeah,
but
back to that. I mean, that's it was a lot of fun. Like that stuff was a lot of fun. Never going to do that. We're never going to get to. I'm never going to get to do it at that level, like ever again.
No, but I like that within our little circle of veterans down here in the VBC and everything. We've got guys like Ron Holmes, that runs ranges, and we can have range days like we did, where we just like, hey man, can we come out? Let's do a Saturday where we all just show up. We bring all our stuff. Let's shoot steel. Let's have a good time. So we can still kind of scratch that itch, like maybe not to the same level that we used to do, but it's still nice to have that as an option.
Yeah, I'm actually that's probably the next thing that I'm kind of working on is trying to get some land and have a private hunting club.
Ooh,
which is going to be like,
that'd be cool.
VBC.
Are you trying to do that locally, like this area?
Yeah, it'll be like Brunswick or Pender. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to look. I know it's kind of like this cliche thing.
Now we're getting into what's on Ethan's.
Well, moving forward, let's move forward. That sounds like a good idea.
Hunting club, I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be a private hunting club, right? So, and I'm not really trying to get crazy with it.
Can I come?
to go for it.
Can I come?
Absolutely.
To the private
that's what I was
club?
going to say. Like, I'd open it up to VBC members first.
Now you're
Right?
speaking my language.
Because like the idea is like for me, like I'm not. Maybe I should be looking because I don't make a lot of money. But my point is, I'm not really looking at it like a business. Like if I could get to the point where basically I break even and like we have a cool place to shoot.
Yeah, if it doesn't cost you anything, then it's a win.
Yeah. Well, and then everyone else can be involved and have a cool place to shoot too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of spread the. It's not even really a risk though. But anyways, that's kind of where I'm going with that. I got to go out. We did that thing with Ron. That was awesome. And then I went to another range a while ago, and like we had the range to ourselves. It was just like me and this dude.
Mm-hmm.
We had like it was probably like 30 by 30, and we had a pistol range. No one else was there. That's where I want it. That's where I need to. That's what I got. That's what I need.
Yeah,
to have. I think I need that.
that's good therapy.
Yeah. I think it's good therapy. I think we could do like events there. We could do. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We could tie into, like I went to that Garrett. Was it Garrett that offered that the first meritorious? I'm trying to get a plug in for meritorious, I guess, but they did that executive veteran networking thing out in Mebane, North Carolina. And I won that knife. And I got second place in that pistol thing.
Yep.
Like that was like you want to go back to doing something kind of cool. I was like it was the Veterans Day. It was like a Veterans Day professional networking thing.
Yeah.
And they had like a 6R rep there, and they gave away some pistols to the people that won these matches. You know what I mean? Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Trying to replicate something like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
I like it. You gotta have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Something you're planning towards, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think we're coming close to our time that we've got allocated for our conversation today. So as we wrap this up, I always have two final things that I ask. One is, what piece of advice do you want to leave on the table for anybody that's listening? Words of wisdom from Ethan Bickley. And it doesn't have to be on transition or business or military. It can be on anything you want, and it can be for whoever you want to receive it.
All right. I'll close it out with the early bird may get the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese.
I love it. That's thought-provoking. Yes. And
That's right. That's some serious shit, my friend.
Yes.
It's heavy.
Yes.
Heavy.
Yes. I like, I've got a similar one to that. You ever heard the squeaky wheel gets the grease?
That's
right? You've heard that, right?
Right.
My counter to that is always, and the nail that sticks out's the ones that get hit.
That's right. That's right.
So, which way do you want to look at it?
Right.
There's always a counter to the narrative. So
Very true.
I like that. That's good, man. No one's thrown anything like that out yet. That's good. I'm gonna remember that. And then the second thing I like to ask is, are there any book recommendations you have? Anything you've read that have impacted you in a significant way? And it doesn't. I mean, it could be like The Hobbit, dude. It doesn't have to be a business book or a self-help book or something like that. You got any gems hidden away that you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I always suggest reading Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big one. A big one. So
I'm writing it down.
good.
I've got my book recommendation list here. Selfishly, I get lots of awesome book recommendations from doing these podcasts.
So basically, real quick, like Adam, basically what he wrote about economics back in 1776, and like all this stuff, like probably 90%. I don't know. Somebody's gonna call this out if they're some weirdo, but like 90% of it still holds true today. Guy wrote a book about economics,
like
hundreds of years ago,
yeah.
And literally, like, it can be applied to today's stuff. So, anyways,
have you ever read The Richest Man in Babylon?
no, I have not.
It's a really short read. It's like probably take you 2 hours to read it.
Okay.
Little like almost like a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Size
I
book.
know exactly what you mean.
But it's similar to that. It's the story is situated in Babylon, back when Babylon was still a major city, and they're still constructing the walls around it, and slavery was
After it was Constantinople.
a thing, and all that. Before
Constantinople.
way before,
That's
like
right.
biblical times. Way
Right.
before.
I know. I'm trying to make it.
But it's similar. It's all about economics, more like individual and family economics. Right. But the principles, they're timeless. They apply forever. And so that's one that's on my daughter's reading list for when she hits her teen years. At 10, she's not quite ready for it, but I think in another 2 or 3 years, I'll have her read it probably every 6 months just to drive that lesson home, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I just hope that. Yeah, that sounds good, man.
Yeah. Well, man, dude, we covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we really did.
Everything from service dogs to acting to, we covered all kinds of cool stuff. So
Yeah.
I wasn't too far off with estimating that this might be the most epic episode ever.
Dude.
But no, seriously, I appreciate you coming down. Thank you for your
Happy
time
about it,
today.
man.
Thanks for continuing to support the VBC and showing up every month and being that guy that always looks for ways to help people out and connect people, and doing what you do with the Honor Foundation and helping the active duty folks with their transition. That's huge. I went about it the completely the wrong way, which becomes more and more apparent to me every time I talk to a guy who's transitioning now. I'm like, gosh, I'm such a chump. For what I did, So it's awesome that you're giving back in that manner and
Thank you,
helping
man.
people out. So I really appreciate it, dude. And hopefully I'll see you. I guess it'd be next Thursday at
Yeah.
Rebellion
Yeah.
for the February meeting, man.
That's sweet, man. I'll be there, bro.
Cool, dude. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for checking out the VBC podcast.
I am State Farm Agent Rob Renz, and I want to help you get to a better place. Visit us online at ilminsurance.com. That's ilminsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.